Hi. Um, I'm a big confused Matthew, nostalgia critic, and the video game nerd fan. I I love the reviews, so I thought I'd give it a shot myself. I I already have a review up for Trek 11, and so I thought I would just randomly do an episode of my favorite series is Voyager. And one of my favorite episodes is Parallax. Now I know people like SF Debris hated it because it didn't make any sense, but I loved it because it was the first episode after the pilot where they were kind of more blending as a crew. The scene, first of all, the very beginning where Balana hits Carrie, that's awesome because you never see that much in Star Trek unless they're out of their minds or under some kind of influence. Officer hitting officer. And I like Carey. He has only made a few appearances, but I like him. And and then it goes on to uh, a couple of Maquis crew members come up to Chakotay and suggest a mutiny. It's Seska and some other guy I don't know. And after that, he goes to Balana's quarters and is pissed because of between what happened in sickbay, Tuvok wanting her court-martialed, and then the Maquis want a mutiny. It's a hell of a day. Start to a day. And then they get into it for a while. And then this crisis shows up. They are inside a quantum singularity. So at first they don't realize they're in it. Long story short, after trying to leave it, the area at warp, they end up back there. They realize they're in it. So they find another ship, try to hail it, then they finally get it on the view screen, realizing that it's just a time delayed reflection of themselves. The next scene in the briefing room, I love. The uh, the analogy they use, I love it. It's a frozen over pond. It explains pretty well what was going on. A lot of people didn't think that scene made sense from a scientific standpoint. I'm no scientist, but science is a hobby of mine. So I was interested in finding out more about that. The chemistry between Balana and the captain in that scene was great. They were just Balana was kind of keeping her mouth shut in the meetings until then. And she pretty much blows off Carrie, and her and the captain start theorizing and leaving everybody in the dust about what they're talking about. And then when they go back to the bridge and try the try to find the aperture, and then they go. Balana and the captain get in a shuttle to try to open the hole big enough for Voyager to fit through. I think that scene they could have done without. I think they could have just shown the shuttle doing it, and that was it. I mean, they bond a little bit, but I think that whole scene could have been avoided. It was, I would say, a good 5 minutes. We could have done without. And then they do it. They get back to Voyager, and one of the famous lines in Voyager is, in command school they taught us to always remember that maneuvering a starship is a very delicate process. But over the years I've learned that sometimes you just have to punch your way through. Full impulse power. So Tom punches them through and they get out. See, that's one of my favorite scenes because it doesn't involve aliens shooting at them. It's purely exploration and scientifical. And that's what Star Trek is. What I didn't like about that episode was at the very end when um, Chakotay and Janeway are walking on top level of engineering. They're talking about, how crewmen have had complaints about B'Elanna being made chief engineer over others, specifically Carrie. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. You have no idea who this woman is, or if even she's good enough. There have been Starfleet officers who worked years for their commission, like Janeway said earlier in the episode. And now, all of a sudden, chief engineer is this Maquis who you know nothing about except she was an outlaw in the Alpha Quadrant. Yeah, I'd be pissed. I think they should have waited a couple more episodes before making her the chief engineer, so I could see a little bit more of what she could do. That could have been a lucky fluke that she knew about time delay deflections and temporal mechanics. That could have been a complete fluke. But I guess they were trying to get the series on their feet. And personally, that is one of my top favorite episodes. If you like this video, comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll make more. Have a good one.